Greetings, warrior. Right now, at this moment, your life is being shaped, not by grand, distant plans, but by the silent, steady accumulation of your judgments, your choices, and your focus. What if you could take control of that process? What if, starting today, you could install an unshakable operating system for your mind, one used by emperors, philosophers, and freed slaves to navigate chaos with purpose and peace? That system exists. It is Stoicism, and it is not a theory for the lecture hall. It is a toolkit for the battlefield of daily life. In this video, we will walk through 12 Stoic principles that, if applied, will catalyze an immediate transformation in how you experience the world. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming who you are, fully and resiliently. Stoicism, founded in Athens and perfected in Rome, is a philosophy of virtue, reason, and acceptance of what we cannot control. At its core, it teaches that our suffering does not come from events themselves, but from our opinion about those events. As Epictetus, the slave-turned-teacher, said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled from the front lines of war, wrote in his private journal, now known as Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And Seneca, the statesman and playwright, reminded us that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. These thinkers were not isolated in ivory towers. They were immersed in political intrigue, war, exile, and loss. Their philosophy was forged in the fire of real life. The 12 principles we will discuss are distillations of their wisdom, designed to recalibrate your perception, anchor your actions in virtue, and grant you a profound sense of inner freedom, regardless of your external circumstances. Let us move from theory to practice. Here are 12 Stoic principles for immediate life transformation. Principle 1. The dichotomy of control. The foundational split, this is the bedrock. The first and most critical division you must make in your mind, every single day. The Stoics teach that the source of all our anxiety, frustration, and anger is a simple error. We waste our precious inner energy trying to command that which is not ours to command. Therefore, you must perform this audit with ruthless clarity. What is within your control? This is your inner citadel. Your opinions, your judgments, your values, your desires, your aversions, your chosen actions, and your character. This is your sovereign territory. What is not within your control? This is everything else. The past, the future, the body you were born with, your reputation, the actions and opinions of other people, the weather, the economy, traffic, whether you get the promotion or get cut off in line. These are externals. Epictetus begins his Enchiridion with this: "Some things are up to us and some are not." Your transformation begins the nanosecond you stop arguing with this reality. Your mission is to invest every ounce of your effort, your attention, and your will into the first category, your own reasoned choice, and meet everything in the second category with a calm acceptance. This isn't passivity. It's the ultimate strategic focus. You are the archer. You can control how well you draw the bow, aim, and release. You cannot control the wind or the movement of the target. To curse the wind is the definition of folly. Master your shot. Principle 2. Premeditatio malorum, the rehearsal of adversity. Do not mistake this for negative thinking. This is the practice of psychological inoculation. Each morning, in the quiet of your mind, you will calmly and rationally visualize the potential challenges of the coming day. The key is to do so without emotion, as a strategist surveys a battlefield. See the traffic jam, not with clenched fists, but as an expected interval of time. Visualize the difficult conversation with a colleague, rehearsing your calm, reasoned responses. Consider the project setback and already have a plan to adapt. As Seneca wrote, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. By pre-living these potential misfortunes, you accomplish two things. First, you disarm the element of shock and panic, because when an obstacle arises, you can say, "Ah, this was in the rehearsal. I know this scene." Second, and more importantly, you affirm to yourself that you have the inner resources to handle it. You are not hoping for a perfect day. You are preparing to be a resilient person, no matter what the day contains. Principle 3. Amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is where Stoic acceptance transforms into active, passionate embrace. Amor fati means love of fate. It is the decision to not merely tolerate what happens, but to see it as necessary, as fuel, as the very material you were meant to work with. The great Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Later, Nietzsche, the philosopher who studied the Stoics deeply, captured it perfectly. "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." This means seeing every obstacle as the way. The frustrating delay becomes time for reflection. The betrayal teaches you discernment. The failure reveals a flaw in your approach. The illness deepens your appreciation for health. Your fate, all of it, the smooth and the jagged, is not your enemy. It is your training partner. It is the stone against which your blade is sharpened. To love it is to become unbreakable. Principle 4. The view from above, the cosmic perspective. When the weight of the immediate moment feels crushing, when a petty slight feels like a declaration of war, or a professional setback feels like the end of the world, you must actively shift your perspective. This is the view from above. Pause. Close your eyes. In your mind's eye, see the room you're in. Then pull back. See your building, your neighborhood, your entire city from a bird's eye view, with its thousands of lives and dramas unfolding simultaneously. Pull back further. See your country, then the continent, then the whole beautiful blue-green sphere of Earth, hanging in the silent black void of space. From here, see the vast sweep of time, the centuries that came before you, the centuries that will follow. Marcus Aurelius practiced this relentlessly. Think of the universal substance, of which you have a very small portion, and of universal time, of which a short and indivisible interval has been assigned to you. This exercise does not make your problems disappear, but it frames them in their true proportion. It shrinks the trivial and clarifies the essential. Your virtue, your connection to others, and your brief, precious moment to act with purpose. Principle 5. Memento mori. Remember you must die. This is not a morbid fixation. It is the ultimate clarifier and the most powerful motivator. Memento mori. Remember death. The Stoics did not see this as a cause for despair, but as a tool for vibrant, urgent living. Meditating on your mortality is the antidote to procrastination, to cowardice, and to wasting your life on trivialities. As Seneca put it, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." Let the awareness that your time is limited, that this conversation could be your last, that this project could be your final contribution, inject immediacy and depth into everything you do. Ask yourself, if I knew this was my last year, my last month, my last day, would I be spending this moment this way? Would I be holding this grudge? Would I be silent about this affection? Would I be avoiding this necessary work? Death strips away all pretense and leaves only what is real and important. Let it decide what you do, say, and think. Principle 6. Journal your judgments, the daily dissection that your mind is not a calm lake. It is a factory, constantly producing impressions, judgments, and reactions. Most people are ruled by this unchecked output. The Stoic warrior learns to become the factory inspector. This is done through the disciplined practice of the evening journal. At the end of each day, take a single event that disturbed your peace. Write it down. Now, dissect it with surgical precision, just as Epictetus taught. First, what was the raw, objective event? E.g., my colleague criticized my report in the meeting. Second, what was my immediate judgment about that event? E.g., he disrespected me and is trying to undermine me. Third, is that judgment true? Is it the only possible interpretation? Could he be clumsy, under pressure himself, or actually trying to help? Fourth, was that judgment helpful? Did believing it lead to virtuous action or to quiet resentment? Finally, how could I reframe this judgment to align with wisdom and justice? This practice builds profound self-awareness. It exposes the stories you tell yourself and returns power to you, the narrator. Principle 7. Act with the 4 cardinal virtues. The inner compass. In a world that measures success by wealth, likes, status, and titles, Stoicism offers a radical, unshakable alternative. Measure yourself only by virtue. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues as the pillars of an excellent character. Let them be your sole compass in every action. Wisdom. Practical wisdom. Good judgment. The ability to navigate complex situations with clarity. Courage. Not just physical bravery, but moral courage. The strength to stand by your principles, to speak the truth, and to endure hardship with grace. Justice. Your duty to other people, to act with fairness, kindness, and to contribute to the common good. Temperance. Self-discipline, self-control, and moderation. Mastering your appetites and impulses. In any situation, from a business decision to a family argument, pause and ask, could I bring more wisdom to this? More courage, more justice, more temperance? This question cuts through confusion and tells you exactly what to do. Your worth is no longer tied to an outcome you can't fully control, but to the quality of your effort, which you always can. Principle 8. Speak with purpose. The discipline of the tongue. Words are power, and most of us leak this power constantly, carelessly. Epictetus was relentless on this point. Be silent for the most part, and let your speech be seasoned with virtue. The Stoic practice is to impose a triple filter on every word you consider speaking. First, is it true? Not a rumor, not an assumption, but demonstrably true. Second, is it necessary? Does saying this serve a purpose, or is it merely noise, gossip, or complaint? Third, is it kind? Or at the very least, is it just? Does it help, or does it harm? This discipline accomplishes several things. It conserves your energy. It prevents you from creating unnecessary conflicts or betraying confidences. It forces you to listen more, and when you do speak, your words carry immense weight because people learn they are not frivolous. You move from being a reactor who comments on everything to an actor who speaks only to enact virtue. Principle 9. See the humanity in others. The lens of compassion. When someone wrongs you, when they are rude, dishonest, or obstructive, your default animal instinct is to see them as a malicious villain and to respond with anger. The Stoic asks you to change the lens. See them instead as a fellow human being acting from a place of ignorance, pain, or flawed judgment. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, when people injure you, ask yourself what good or harm they thought would come of it. If you understand that, you'll feel sympathy rather than outrage or anger. They believe, mistakenly, that their action is right or necessary for their own happiness, just as you have acted wrongly out of ignorance before. This does not mean you become a doormat. You can, and should, correct them, oppose injustice, and set boundaries. But you do so from a place of calm, compassionate duty, justice, not from reactive, ego-driven rage. You see them as a sick person needing medicine, not an enemy needing destruction. This breaks the cycle of hatred and preserves your own peace. Principle 10. Voluntary discomfort, the resilience. Work out, comfort is the enemy of resilience. If your happiness is dependent on perfect conditions, the right temperature, the perfect meal, constant praise, you are fragile, a prisoner of externals. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort is your training to break those chains. Periodically, deliberately choose a minor hardship. Take a cold shower. Skip a meal and feel the hunger. Walk in the rain without complaint. Sleep on a firmer surface. Wear simpler clothes. As Seneca, who enjoyed great wealth, would periodically practice poverty, stating, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, and say to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This does three things. First, it proves to you that you can endure much more than you think, building confidence. Second, it makes you genuinely grateful for the comforts you do have, transforming them from expectations into appreciated gifts. Third, it inoculates you against the panic of involuntary hardship when it inevitably comes. Principle 11. The impermanence of all things. This, too, shall pass. Embrace the fundamental law of the universe, flux. Nothing is static. Every moment of pain, every peak of joy, every period of stagnation is temporary. The Stoics called to mind the transience of all things to cultivate equanimity. In moments of crushing pain or loss, this truth is a lifeline. This will not last forever. I have endured before, I will endure now. In moments of exhilarating success and pleasure, this truth is a guard against hubris and clinging. This, too, is fleeting. Enjoy it fully, but do not grasp it, for it will change. Marcus reflected on the ruins of time, seeing the great empires and heroes all turn to dust. It is all passing. This perspective allows you to surf the waves of experience without being drowned by the troughs or deluded by the crests. You hold all things lightly, knowing they are on loan from nature. Principle 12. The evening review, the daily audit. Your day is your practice field. The evening review is your film study. In the last quiet minutes before sleep, conduct a brief, honest, and compassionate audit of your day. Ask yourself 3 questions, as Seneca did. 1. Where did I go wrong? Where did I let an external event disturb my peace? Where did I act out of anger, fear, or greed instead of virtue? 2. What did I do right? Where did I exercise patience, courage, or kindness? 3. What could I do better tomorrow? Not with self-flagellation, but with the calm focus of a craftsman improving their technique. This is not about guilt. It is about feedback. You are not judging your soul. You are reviewing your performance. This daily ritual closes the loop on your practice. It turns experience into wisdom and intention into continual, incremental growth. You end the day not with vague anxiety, but with a clear plan for a wiser tomorrow. The transformation, warrior, does not begin when your circumstances change. It begins the moment you decide to see them differently. These 12 principles are levers for your mind. You do not need to master them all at once. Start with one. Perhaps today you practice only the dichotomy of control. Tomorrow you add the evening review. Stoicism is the art of turning obstacles into advantage and fear into fuel. It is the practice of building an inner citadel that no external event can ever breach. Your path is before you. Walk it with reason and courage. If this wisdom resonated with you, help us spread this ancient practical philosophy. Like this video to support its reach, and share your chosen principle for the week in the comments below. I read them. And subscribe for more guides to building an unshakable life. Until next time, remember, the world may be chaotic, but within you lies a profound and unassailable peace. Farewell.